Okay, today's date is 15 December 2014. This is Julfikar Science Children. I'm going to conduct your speaking test. Your speaking test mock number is 201412. First of all, to help you settle down, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Can you first tell me your full official name?
My full official name is Adiba, as it appears in my passport and other official documents.
What name may I call you?
I preferably called Adiba.
Okay, Ms. Adiba. Where are you from?
I am from Chittagong. I live in a small neighborhood. It's a city area. It's called Kushi, and it's a 10-minute drive from this place.
What's the most disgusting part of the neighborhood you live in?
Well, my neighborhood is actually a pretty elite neighborhood, but if you step a little outside it, which is also the neighborhood, but it's a little distant from the place I live in, there's a huge dustbin. It's huge, and I do not know why it exists in there. It's an open dustbin, and you can see crows and flies flying all around it. It's pretty disgusting to me.
Okay, if you're given a chance, what are the changes you're going to make in your neighborhood?
The changes, there are not a lot of changes that I want to make in my neighborhood, because my neighborhood is actually one of the best neighborhoods in the city, like I like to believe. And the only few changes that I would like to make is if people were actually more comfortable with themselves. Since it's more elite and since it's more about high class, so not many people know each other. So I would like to make a change in that. And like I said, the dustbin, I would like it gone.
Okay. Do you live in a house or in an apartment?
I live in a house.
Do you think it is better to live in a house or an apartment?
Frankly, I think it's obviously better to live in a house because you have the liberty of doing things. Apartments are very commercial, and you can't even use a lot of facilities without politics, like the roof. It's not for free access to everyone who wants to go there. There are hours that separate rentals can go and tenants can go. So it's kind of very frustrating, but when it's your own house, you're at liberty to do whatever you want to do, be it a party or be it whatever. Plus, if you're busy and you're having exams, then you can control if no one else makes noises, which is really difficult when you live in apartments.
Good. So, what are some of the disadvantages of parks in towns or cities?
Disadvantages of parks in towns or cities are not many, because the advantages are actually a lot. But if local parks are commonly accessible to everyone, then a lot of things that you see that happens these days are eve-teasing, and when the beggars get inside the parks, then it becomes very crowded, and some people who are actually going to the parks to look for their sanctuary, they're not getting it because they're disrupted by the begging of the beggars. And I think public parks have a lot of disadvantages like that.
Do you think that the parks should be free or that people should pay to use them?
There are certain parks that should be free and certain parks that should be free of cost. The parks that should be free are usually the public parks, and it's better to keep it like that because a lot of in my country, there are people from different communities and different economy. So many of them will not be able to afford parks if they're priced. But some parks that are the high class parks, they should definitely have a fee because to maintain it, to keep it neat and clean, people need to be employed, and where will that money come from? Because it's a private fund. So yes, those funds should actually be free.
In what sense do you think parks are important for towns and cities?
Currently, there are not many recreation that children or teenagers look upon except for the internet or mobile phones, but sometimes you get fatigued, you get tired, and you get unhealthy when you're always sitting at your place in front of your PC or your netbook or whatever you're doing. So for those times, I think it's really important that there is a place where you can go and get some air, which is the park, and you can take walks and you can see old people or people of every other age exercising in the park or taking a walk, and I think it's very healthy.
Okay, let's talk about free time. Do you have much free time in your life?
I don't think I have much free time in my life because I'm a senior in a high school, and it's high time
What do you like doing in your free time?
On those rare occasions that I actually do have free time, I like cooking.
Okay.
I like playing different instruments, and I like watching television.
What free time activities do you particularly dislike?
One of the free time activities that people are very much getting involved in these days, especially teenagers and juveniles, is drugs. And I particularly hate it. There is no point of doing it. Your free time is supposed to give you enjoyment, but not exploitism. It's supposed to help you nourish yourself and believe and rejuvenate yourself, not get into other sicknesses.
Okay. How much free time do you think a person should have every day?
It depends on the age group and the profession. For students like me, if you have more than 6 hours of free time, you're not doing your studies properly. But when you grow up and when people have careers, I think it's very important, almost critical for people to have at least some amount of free time for themselves to get out of the toil and turmoil of their everyday professional life. And by that, I mean about 3-4 hours at least.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to give you a call on the career final topic and some current questions. Based on that, you have to prepare a talk for 1 minute, and you have 1 minute time to take notes. Your topic is to describe one of your good friends.